Forgotten songs from 70 years ago. Do you remember when this song brought the 50s to life?
1, 2, and then rock!
Or when this one redefined rock and roll? Both are songs buried in the sands of time, but back in their day, they added color to one of the most beautiful decades in history, the 50s. Today, I'm inviting you to travel back to that lost era, to rediscover melodies that shaped a generation and might have been sleeping in a corner of your memory. 12 16 Tons by Ernie Ford.
That's weak and the back that's strong. You load the 16 tons. What do you get?
In 1955, the world still carried the weight of the post-war years. Workers, miners, men with calloused hands were the true pillars of a society trying to rebuild. No doubt, they found inspiration more than once in Ernie Ford's deep voice, which echoed across radios worldwide with 16 Tons.
I was born one month.
The song was a raw portrait of a tough life, and maybe that's why it became a hit. It told the story of men working in coal mines, giving their strength, youth, and often their lives to a system that barely gave them enough to survive.
Better step aside. A lot of men didn't. A lot of men died.
It feels authentic because it is. Here's a mind-blowing fact. Ernie Ford was a miner before he was a singer. When he performed this song, he knew exactly what he was talking about. His voice carried the weariness of someone who'd breathed dust and come home with blackened hands. It was the first song of its kind to sell over 1 million copies, but more than a hit, it was a mirror of a changing society. Before we go on, we'd love to get to know you better. Where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. Let's keep going. 11. Maybellene by Chuck Berry. That same year, a man who'd change music history forever burst onto the scene. His name was Chuck Berry, and with his electric guitar and mischievous grin, he dropped a song that seemed simple but hit a revolution, Maybellene. The track was about a high-speed chase fueled by jealousy, but beyond the story, it was the energy that hit you. It was the first time someone blended the rhythm of blues with the boldness of country and the freshness of R&B. From that fusion, something new was born, rock and roll, a genre we'd fall in love with just a few years later. Chuck Berry wrote Maybellene inspired by an old tune called Ida Red, but he transformed it with a frantic rhythm and a guitar that sounded like a revving engine. When it hit the radio, kids went wild. They'd never heard anything like it. Adults didn't get it, but that sound was here to stay. Maybellene didn't just pave the way for Elvis Presley or the Beatles, it opened the door to a new way of seeing life. It was the music of a generation that didn't want to stay stuck in the past. Every guitar strum was a glimpse of what was coming. Give us a like if you think 50s music beats today's tunes. Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley and His Comets.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
While that spark was igniting, Bill Haley and His Comets made it explode with a song that felt like a sonic boom, Rock Around the Clock. Funny enough, when it first came out, it wasn't a big deal, just another single among many on the radio. But everything changed in 1955 when it was featured in the movie Blackboard Jungle. In the opening scene, as the credits rolled, that vibrant, unstoppable rhythm played, and no one could believe what they were hearing. Bill Haley didn't look like a rebel star. He was a grown man with a neatly combed pompadour and a friendly smile, but his music had something wild that connected straight with kids who felt the world was too small for them. This hit was the sound of a generation that wanted to move, shout, and dance until dawn. It was the start of rock as a social phenomenon and a language of freedom. No one knew it then, but the rhythm of history had just changed. Listening to it today is like opening a window to those days when music became more than entertainment, it became identity. 9. Cry Me a River by Julie London.
I cried a river over you.
While kids were shaking the world to rock's rhythm, another voice, soft and mysterious, captured hearts from a quieter corner. That was Julie London with Cry Me a River.
Cry me a river, cry me a river.
Julie didn't have a booming voice, but it felt like she was whispering in your ear. Her performance was a mix of sadness, pride, and vengeance, telling the story of a woman hurt by love, watching her betrayer beg for forgiveness too late, a novel packed into less than 3 minutes.
A river over you.
Here's a wild story. The song was originally written for Ella Fitzgerald, but her studio passed on it. Julie, who wasn't a star yet, made it her own. No one imagined her version would become one of the most iconic of all time. Soon, Cry Me a River became a refuge for broken hearts. Its success marked a new way to sing about love without shouting, without drama, just a voice that seemed to come straight from the soul. 8. Sincerely by the McGuire Sisters. Back then, the world was still a place where love letters were handwritten and feelings were expressed with care. There were no instant messages or fleeting flings. There was a different sweetness, an innocence that wrapped everything, making love feel pure. That was the perfect setting for three sisters to take over the radio with a song about true love and heartfelt promises. Sincerely by the McGuire Sisters. The melody was simple, but its message hit deep. The need to love genuinely without games or pretense. The lyrics were a confession that echoed in diner jukeboxes, school dances, and homes where families gathered to listen to music together. When Sincerely hit #1, it was like a farewell, a tender rhythm about love just before rock filled the air with rebellion. It was the last breath of innocence before the 60s changed everything. Here's the kicker. The song wasn't originally theirs. It was written and recorded by a male group, the Moonglows, in the emerging rhythm and blues scene. But the McGuire sisters gave it a cleaner, family-friendly touch, making it a staple in every American home. What's your favorite 50s song? Drop it in the comments so we can all give it a listen. 7. The Ballad of Davy Crockett by Bill Hayes.
Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier.
You've got to be a big deal to have a song written about you, and if it's sung by someone as talented as Bill Hayes, you know it's going to be a hit. The Ballad of Davy Crockett is exactly that, the result of one genius admiring another.
He fought single-handed through the Injun War till the creeks is whipped.
Davy Crockett was a pioneer, hunter, politician, and symbol of the frontier spirit, but in the 50s, TV brought him back as a near-mythical figure thanks to Disney's series. The song's catchy chorus turned him into a legend. Its impact was huge. Millions of kids wore coonskin caps proudly in streets, parks, and schools. It was the first time a TV-tied song crossed borders to become a mass phenomenon. Bill Hayes went from a lesser-known actor to a national celebrity.
Davy Crockett, serving his country well.
But behind the upbeat melody was something deeper. The lyrics spoke of a nation searching for itself, longing for the days when courage and adventure defined a man. 6. The Rock and Roll Waltz by Starr.
And as they dance, only one thing.
If there was ever a song that marked the exact spot where tradition met revolution, it was the Rock and Roll Waltz by Starr. In 1956, rock was taking over radios, dance halls, and young hearts, but Starr, with her warm, elegant voice, did something no one had before. She blended the classic waltz with rock's new rhythm.
One
As the rhythm pulled us in, Kay told the story of a girl who comes home to find her parents dancing rock and roll in the living room, not knowing they'd secretly learned to move to the new trend. The image was funny, but also showed a truth. It was the clash of two generations slowly starting to understand each other through music. The title was a bit of a playful trick, but it worked. Adults felt comfortable with it, and kids embraced it with a smile. 5. Maybe by the Chantels. So reads it off decided and Freddie on the fart it. Amid all the new sounds, no one expected a group of young women from Harlem to burst in with a ballad still considered one of the most emotional in history. Maybe by the Chantels, their ticket to stardom. Unlike big artists backed by powerful studios, they were just teens singing in a Catholic church choir. Their leader, Arlene Smith, was only 16 when she wrote the song, but her voice carried a depth beyond her years. When it hit the radio, young girls related to it, and guys remembered the days of waiting for a maybe that never came. Maybe had a rare ability to capture a universal feeling, hope that refuses to die. Decades later, artists like Janis Joplin and John Lennon would cite its influence. Lennon even said once that if the Chantels had been born in England, they'd have been bigger than many groups of their time. But maybe their magic lies in being a hidden treasure, a memory few mention, but everyone feels they've heard. 4. The Yellow Rose of Texas by Mitch Miller.
There's a yellow rose in Texas that I am gonna see.
This song feels like it comes from another era, and in a way, it does. When Mitch Miller performed The Yellow Rose of Texas, it was like a time machine. The song wasn't new. It was born over a century earlier during Texas's war for independence as a folk ballad among soldiers. But Miller, a producer and performer known for his strong voice and cheerful choruses, revived it with a martial, patriotic flair. Soon, his version became a symbol of American pride during the post-Korean War years.
She cried so when I left her, it like to broke my heart.
Mitch Miller was a unique figure. He didn't just sing, he was one of the 50s most influential music industry players, leading orchestras, producing artists, and later bringing his style to TV with Sing Along with Mitch, where he invited viewers to sing from home. It was shared music, the kind from before, uniting families in front of the TV.
Nobody else could miss her, not half as much as me.
The Yellow Rose of Texas was like a victory of tradition over modernity, a final whisper before rock's shouts took over. Subscribe to the channel if you want us to do a musical rundown of your favorite year. 3. Sorry, I Ran All the Way Home by the Impalas. Before the decade ended, doo-wop ruled street corners and parks, and at the peak of that vibrant genre were the Impalas, with a song that felt like a teen story but held a deeper truth. Sorry, I Ran All the Way Home.
I ran all the way home.
The lyrics told a simple scene. A guy argues with his love, storms off, then runs all night to apologize. It's almost a confession, but beyond the words, its authenticity moved people. It reflected an era where pride didn't outweigh love, where you could still run through the streets for someone worth it. The Impalas' leader, Joe Speedo Frazier, didn't look like a star. The son of Italian immigrants from Brooklyn, he and his diverse bandmates stood out in a segregated era, representing racial unity through music. That year, kids danced close as the lights dimmed and Joe Frazier's voice filled the air. It was a time when a simple apology could rebuild love. 2. Come Go With Me by the Del-Vikings. If there was ever a song that captured the sweetness of first loves and youthful optimism, it was Come Go With Me by the Del-Vikings. Born in 1956 amid rock's euphoria, its softness made it timeless. The Del-Vikings were a vocal group of Air Force soldiers who met at a Pennsylvania base, singing together during night shifts and coffee breaks to pass the time. What started as a hobby became history. One of them, Clarence Quick, wrote Come Go With Me one night, never imagining it would become one of the decade's most beloved songs. The most incredible part? The Del-Vikings were one of the first multiracial groups to hit it big nationally in 1956. Kids didn't see color, they saw emotion, and that was worth gold. 1. Learnin' the Blues by Frank Sinatra.
You're on the right track for learning the blues.
If there's one voice that sums up this beautiful era, it's Frank Sinatra's. In 1955, while others rode new waves, Sinatra dropped a song about lost love with the maturity that defined his career. Learnin' the Blues, written by the lesser-known Dolores Dottie Silvers, was transformed into art by Sinatra. His warm, calm voice turned every word into a sigh.
When you're at home alone, the blues will talk.
Many remember, but Sinatra was coming off tough years in the mid-50s. His once glorious career seemed to be fading, and his personal life, marked by scandals and turbulent loves, had nearly left him forgotten. But Learnin' the Blues was a kind of rebirth, proving he still had that magic to sing what millions felt but couldn't say. The song was an instant hit, the kind you'd play while staring out a window on a quiet afternoon, thinking of someone gone. Sinatra sang of heartbreak with his signature dignity, showing once again that even pain can be elegant. And though time has passed, its freshness hasn't aged a day. And that's the end of our journey. We'll leave you with a link to another video with a list of classic songs if you want to keep reliving the nostalgia of those times. Catch you next time.